You know me, man. I'm easy. All right. So it's sort of live right now, but not yet. Okay, excellent connection. I wait for the live button over here, and then I push that, and then we are truly live. We have 100,000 people watching this evening.
Well, I wish I would have shaved. No.
Yeah, you should have shaved. You look a little scraggly.
Shaved my.
All right. I just clicked the go live button. We are now officially live.
No, I don't want to do it anymore. I back out. Stop.
No, you can't back out. You're already here, man. People are watching. You know, you have to push the. Do you have a little thing on your camera where you push the little slider thing? Hello, Jordan. Seriously, I was just kidding, man. Bring it back.
Here.
Good. Hey, did you get the show notes?
I did. You know, and I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I wasn't.
You didn't read. Did you?
I wasn't.
Do you know how to read?
I know. I definitely know how to read. I wasn't nervous about being on this podcast until all of a sudden you sent me these show notes, and suddenly I'm like, oh, geez, this is like the real deal. Now I got to prepare.
Yeah, it's all like professional and shit, right?
Yes.
So Merry Christmas. Today is the day after Christmas. We're live. We are live on YouTube, and I post the videos on YouTube afterwards, and then this also goes out into the podcast. So people may or may not know you. People probably don't know me. But anyway, this is Jordon Darling. Jordon, say hi.
Hello, my friend. We meet again.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be awesome.
Where do we begin? Feels like forever. Okay. Hi.
I don't know if I'm supposed to cry or not on that. I think that was pretty, maybe beautiful. I don't know what it was. Still processing.
Yeah, let's go with beautiful.
Yeah, it was totally beautiful.
Hoping my kids, hi everyone. I say, hi, I'm Jordon Darling. I'm hoping my kids, they're supposed to go look at Christmas lights or some crap, and they're like making a bunch of noise right above me. So hopefully you can't hear it. I can hear it. No, I can't. I just want it to go away.
How was your Christmas? Tell me about Christmas.
It was good. This is a weird year because Christmas falls on Wednesday, right? So it's like it became like a Christmas sandwich, right? Like, so
Ben Kusera came here for the singing. So we'll do more of that later.
Okay. Ben Kusera.
No, later. All right. So again, Christmas was good. Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah, good.
I had a meeting
today.
It's not
over yet. That's my point. It's not over. We had my family over for Christmas on the weekend. Then we had our family Christmas. And now we got my wife's Christmas coming this next weekend. How was yours?
I had a meeting today. Did you have a meeting today? Any meetings?
I had a meeting today. Yes.
What the hell? I was like, thankfully somebody scheduled it. I have multiple calendars, so I have to mush them together and
mush them.
So I used Calendly. Shout out to Calendly. They're not a sponsor, but hey, we'll take your money if you're interested. Calendly.
Yeah, scheduling people for many years.
Yeah, but when you schedule there, I also have it. Chanukah. Happy Chanukah.
Chanukah.
That's not.
Is that
Hanukkah.
Is it Hanukkah?
Hanukkah.
You need that. You can't just say Ch. You gotta say
no. But thank God I have it set up on this thing, Calendly, that it texts me like an hour before my meeting.
Yes.
And so I took my wife. So I'm home alone. I have this whole big house all to myself, me and the dogs,
I'm jealous.
Yeah. My wife and my daughter went up to Minnesota to see family. And they're like, do you want to come? I'm like, fucking crazy. No, Minnesota in December, not going there.
Come on. You're born and raised here, right?
No, I was born in Philadelphia.
Well, that's not much better, is it?
You knew me better than this, Jordan. Thought we'd go back a ways.
I didn't know you were a Philly boy, but I guess I never asked.
I guess it's Boxing Day, too.
Yeah.
Should we
That's
box?
when you box everything up, right? That's a Canadian thing.
Canadian?
Yeah, they're people, too.
They box? They're boxers up there? I've never seen a boxer out of Canada.
And it's great because they apologize after every swing.
Cool. Sorry about that.
That was a good hook.
They do box, but they box on ice.
I don't
hockey
think so.
Style.
Am I able to see the chats? Because I can't see the
chats. You have to go to the YouTube thing.
Oh, there's a YouTube thing? Yeah, I don't know. I probably shouldn't anyways. I'll get this.
We're live on the YouTube thing, Jordan.
Yeah, but I'm in like the Riverside thing. Like I don't see the YouTube thing. Where's the YouTube thing?
On the internet's YouTube.
Anyways, this is not what people came for.
No, it is what people came for. They came to be like, sometimes when you watch the show and you're like, at least I'm not that fucked up. That's why I like when people show up. That's why I like when people show up late for meetings, because it makes me look better.
But you had a text message, so you were on time to one, right?
Yeah,
that's what you were saying.
I was a minute early, but I was painting, right? So I took my wife and my daughter to the airport, and then I took the dogs with me. So I was doing dog stuff, and then I started painting. You know, ADHD. I was doing all kinds of shit, and then I looked at my phone. I'm like, "It's a meeting at 2:00. Who the hell scheduled a meeting?"
Yeah,
on the day after. So I joined the meeting, and it was the CEO of FR Secure, John Harmon, and the CFO, Vinay.
So pretty important meeting.
Yeah, usually I'm a distraction, so I'm surprised they brought me into this businessy thing. It was good, you know. Anyway, so Christmas, you had a good Christmas?
Yeah, it was good. It was good. You know,
did you get any good gifts? Did you get any tech gifts? Because you know the sort of the theme for this podcast is after the gifts, here come the risks. So tell me about some of your risky gifts. Did you get any risky gifts?
No.
No risky gifts today. This year.
Me and my wife, like, we didn't do a lot of gifts this year for each other. I got a spatula, not a smart spatula either, just a dumb spatula.
What would a smart spatula do?
Well, it would probably flip things for you. I wouldn't buy one if it didn't do anything less.
Yeah, I'd be interested in a smart spatula.
And I got a pan. I got a non-stick pan. We had a crappy one, and that one wasn't smart either, just a dumb pan.
Dumb fan. So no tech gifts for you?
No, not for me. See, here's the thing, because we kind of like, I don't know, maybe we lavish each other too much, like just whenever, like we don't save things for like Christmas. So like I have tech things, but we just kind of get them whenever. And you know, we spend a lot of money on our like kids and stuff. So and we don't, and we also try not to make it too extravagant. You're wishing I wasn't hosting this with you now. You're like, oh, dude, the whole point of the show.
I'm happy that you're hosting. I'm hosting this with you. Wait, am I hosting or are you hosting? Who's doing this?
I don't know. I'm here. You're a host.
All right. I got 2 gifts this year. Nobody buys me tech gifts. Nobody. I think because they're intimidated too. They're afraid that I'll be like, really?
Or you already have it. They're probably thinking, well, this guy has all the tech stuff. Why would I?
Not all, but I have the tech. I have the tech stuff I'm interested in. You know, yeah, I didn't get any tech gifts. I got a pair of Birkenstocks. Is that how you say that? Birkenstocks?
Yeah, I think
Birkenstocks.
That sounds right. And so they were dumb. You got dumb Birkenstocks.
That was dumb. Yeah. But check this out. So I got this too. Let me show you. Can you see that?
It's a piece of art.
My wife had commissioned from a local artist here in Mexico. So I'm in Mexico. You know that. My wife commissioned this painting of my dog.
That's beautiful.
It was the best fucking gift I ever had. I cried when I opened it.
Yeah. Look at that face.
That's my dog. Seriously. My wife says, I like my dog more than I like her.
Is that true?
And you know me, man, I don't lie. It's true.
But you didn't say that to her. You said
I did
something
say that to her.
Right?
Yes, because, man, there's 2 kinds of lies. There's lies of omission and there's lies of commission. If I didn't tell her, that would be a lie of omission.
Lie. Evan, that's an omission you should have done.
No, I did it. Well, because this isn't anything new. You know, but I explain it. Like, it's a different kind of like, you know what I mean? Like my dog, I think dogs are like the epitome of love. I've learned when I watch my dogs, I have 4 dogs, but Violet is by far my favorite. That's the picture you saw. I've learned so much about love from her. The way she forgives, you know, in a heartbeat, the way she's loyal all the time, always there for you, the way, just all that shit, man. I mean, yeah, dogs, everybody, I think, do you have any dogs?
No, but we do dog sit. We have a dog here actually as we speak. We're watching our neighbor's dog, a Rex, a golden retriever. Yeah, and we love them. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And they
Dogs
and,
are
you
the
know,
shit.
they pee on our carpet, and we don't care. We love them anyways.
I pee on carpet too. I don't care. I mean, right? Maybe I wasn't supposed to learn that from my dog. Anyway, so all right. So people who don't know you, Jordon, tell us a little bit about you. Where are you from, and what do you? Talking about yourself. I don't like doing that shit either.
I'm in Minnesota. I'm from Minnesota, born and raised.
It's too bad.
And yes, I mean, I do cybersecurity. I do IT stuff. I'm the vice president of Top Dog PC. I told you this the other day on our other podcast. What do I do? Man, I do a lot of boring stuff. But at the end of the day, the things I love doing is helping other people win, helping others win. And if that means helping them use their technology so that they can get ahead, so that they can get their job done better and achieve great things. A lot of our clients do great things. And if I can just help them do that, that's great. If I could help them stay secure as they do that, man, there's a lot of negative things happening, a lot of bad things that go on. And if I can just contribute to the good side, that would be great. That's me.
Yeah. How long ago did you and I meet? Do you remember how many years ago that was?
Yeah, it was probably 2000. Well, when did I get my CISSP? It was
1856.
It was like 2016, I think.
All right.
2015.
And it's 2024 now. So like 10 years?
No, that can't be right. It was like 2017. Yeah, because I had just did a major transition, lost a big client for one of my things, and I went back to school. I did my CISSP. So I met you I did the CISSP right before that. So I met you, even though we didn't really meet. And then I met you after that when I was doing school. Yeah.
We had lunch.
I have a picture of it.
I like lunch. I'm a big fan of lunching.
Yeah.
So did you go through the CISP mentor program?
I did. It was wonderful. I couldn't believe it existed. I mean, it was early on. I was maybe a couple of years into it. I definitely wasn't in the first one, but it was early on. And I was like, I can't believe this. I could just go get mentored to get my CISSP. And it changed a lot of my direction.
Cool, man. Yeah, I love those stories. And that's the thing. So for people who don't know, the CISP mentor program, we started that in 2010. We started with 6 students, and I did it because, well, my mission's weird, right? I have this mission to fix the broken industry. It just means when you come across something that's broken and you're motivated to fix it, go fix it. The point was, we were told that we didn't have enough talent in our industry. And so I was like, and there were only 3 employees, I think, at FR Secure at the time. And I was like, well, let's just offer free training. So 6 students, and then, so it's been going ever since 2010. So last year was the 15th year. This year was the 15th year. I think we've had over 100,000 students. The last 3 years, I think 20,000 each year.
Crazy. And you just do it once a year, or do you do it twice a year?
Once a year, but we're changing it now because I kind of feel like now is the time to like make it better. Because we call it the CISSP mentor program, but I think we kind of suck at the mentor part. It's more like teaching, so we're going to switch it up this year, and I'm excited. I actually with somebody my outline because I said it all, I mean, like ADHD people, you're like, this is how we should do it, and you like outline it, and it's like, that's brilliant, let's do it. And I'm like, fuck, I got to write it down because I don't remember what the fuck I said. So it's going to be reinvented this year, and we're going to be pushing it into the S2 Academy, the Academy. Yeah, it'll be part of that now.
Yeah,
which is cool, man. I love, man, dude, I can't even tell you the emails, the messages you get from people that go through that. You couldn't pay me enough money for that.
I mean, it's a logical conclusion, and that's something that is right up your alley too, is logic, but it's a logical conclusion to be like, oh, we need more people in the industry. Let's train them. That's how you get people in. You equip them with the skills.
That's the thing in this industry, man. Complexity is the worst enemy. of information security, always. And we fucking overcomplicate everything in this industry, everything. Because it is that simple. Like, oh, we need more people. Well, then let's train more people.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
or I guess kidnap some and force them into slave labor, I guess.
Right. Well, because the second piece of that too, and I was talking to a guy, fascinating guy. He's been a CISO for like 4 or 5 companies, really smart guy. And somebody introduced me to him and we had this meeting, and he created this platform to like marry up profiles of applicants and job needs, right? To take the subjectivity bullshit out of it, because we know that when on the hiring side, a lot of people that are hiring have no idea what the fuck they're hiring for. They just like copy and paste, maybe another job description. They're asking for unicorns. It's broken on both sides. So it's not just that we don't have enough supply to meet the demand. We suck at understanding what the demand is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So he created this platform. It's like, man, this is awesome. So we'll be doing some work with him, because I'm not motivated by money, man. I keep the platform, get rich. I don't give a shit. Let's fix these broken things. And that was, that's the big part behind the CVCISO program. And I remember when you signed up for the CVCISO course, and I was excited because I knew that this was kind of a reuniting of, kind of our paths in this industry. We met, we did a whole, I think a lot of mutual respect, a lot of support for each other. But then you kind of go off on your own paths, and then you kind of come back again, right? And that's kind of where we're at right now.
Well, when you do things the right way, you set yourself up for that. When you're an authentic dude and you treat people right, you set yourself up, even if the paths aren't meant to be together at that moment. You set yourself up for the next time you meet. Like, it's just like, oh yeah, that guy is, he's doing something. Yeah, I want to be a part of what that guy's doing, because,
right. And oh my God, he's not full of shit.
Right.
There's a lot of people in this industry. It's crazy. Like our industry in terms of what we do and our practitioner stuff is still really immature, right? I mean, for old timers like me, it's like I could take the same presentation I gave 25 years ago, change the date, and give the same exact presentation, and people would still be like, oh my God, that's amazing. We haven't made enough progress on that side of the house, but also, I mean, really all sides of the house, I guess. When you talk about how mature we've become in this industry, we still have a long ways to go.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we're both passionate about helping people. You and my mission is to fix the broken industry, which is really rooted in the fact that I hate seeing people get taken advantage of. Hate it. I mean, I don't hate a lot of things. Hate isn't a word that I use very often. And even that is driven, if you want to, get personal and get spiritual and everything, I'm going to die someday. And when I die, I want to hear Jesus say, well done. And so these things have been put in front of me to tackle. I mean, for some reason, I've been given enough skills to do shit, given this passion to do shit. So do shit. And so, yeah, it's been awesome, man. It's been awesome meeting people like you. We've had so many good guests on this podcast, on the InfoSec to Insanity. And last week, I talked to Matt Goodacre. Have you ever met Matt? You may not.
I don't believe I've met him. I think I've met him maybe virtually in some of the CVCISO stuff.
Yeah. He's a Packers fan.
Oh, man, that's why I didn't.
I know. So there's kind of a hidden agenda here. So he's a Packers fan. And so I was like, last podcast, I said, why don't you become my sidekick? You know what I mean? You and I could have a great time. And then, the hidden agenda here is, he's a Packers fan, so I can give him shit all the time.
And
hate will flow
that?
This Sunday versus the Packers, says Ben. I have 5 kids. So for Christmas, I bought 5 kids. I have 5 kids. I bought them Packers tickets. So they'll be at the game this weekend.
Awesome. It's such an exciting year.
I'm going to be in paradise watching it on television, which is better, by the way, because when I got to go pee, I get a bathroom with privacy. I don't get beer spilt on me. I don't have to pay $50 for parking. I mean, this is like so much better than being at the game.
You could sell tickets.
I can sell tickets?
Yeah. To your house watching the game.
All right. Free. Come on.
All right.
Come on.
Now your
down.
private bathroom isn't so private anymore. Now you will
I
get beer spilled on you.
I have 9 bathrooms.
Well, all right. So I call my own bathroom.
Help
Sold.
yourself. Yeah, you can have every one except for the one in my bedroom. That one's gold plated. It's got foot warmers. No, it doesn't have any of this stuff. I'm not that weird. I mean, I am that weird, but I haven't done that yet. So, okay, tech gifts. So
Tech gifts.
Christmas. Oh, it's here.
I also, hey, sorry, I had to let you know too, because I so apologize. When you asked me to be on the show, and you told me it was about post-holiday, security tips, I just had no clue you were talking about cybersecurity.
No,
I really thought you were talking about, like, everyone gets all insecure, around the holidays, and I thought you wanted me to help bring tips to provide more, security, like personal security to people, and I'm so stupid. So I did.
No, you're not
I
stupid.
did bring.
Hold up. Here's the thing. I don't hang out with stupid people, and so the people that I do hang out with, I protect. So if somebody calls one of the people I hang out with stupid, including the people who call themselves stupid, they can fuck the fuck off. I do the same thing with my wife, by the way. My wife said something about her looks yesterday. And I'm like, nobody, talks shit about my wife, including my wife. So stop that shit. My wife is hot, hottest chick on the planet. Yeah. Don't be talking smack about that shit. So anyway, you're not stupid. You made some mistake or something.
Cybersecurity. That's, folks came for that.
But what did you want to talk about?
I did bring some tips on how to increase your own personal security. Tits? Not tits. Well, I don't know. That might be in here, but this is just a gift basket.
The tips.
And I'm happy to pull some out periodically if we feel like it could be beneficial like this.
Yeah, pull one out. Let's see it. Let's do it. What is it?
Tip number 1 is set realistic goals. Set realistic goals. A lot of times people, they set a goal so high, so lofty, and that's fine. That's fine. But like, if you're going to get, set it's so lofty that you get depressed when you can't reach this lofty goal you put in front of you, rather than manageable, realistic progress steps. Set realistic goals.
So you're talking like a New Year's resolution?
You'll get to the mountaintop if you just get to the next peak,
Talking like a New Year's resolution kind of thing?
Well, maybe. I don't know. There's lots of stuff in here. I don't even know what Santa's going to bring, so we'll see.
All right, so you're like our Santa.
Yes, yeah. I'm the Canadian Boxing Day Santa.
Canadian Boxing Day, Hanukkah, Yabet. Somebody said Happy Yabet. I don't know what that means.
That's exactly who I am. Yes, I'm the
Yeah. Okay. So set appropriate goals. All right. So you're saying, like me, thinking, okay, 2025 is coming, man. I think maybe the cover of GQ is my thing this year.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, that's totally
not going to happen. That's a little lofty. You're saying.
Well, maybe just set one a little bit more manageable. So like, if you want, okay, you can put GQ here. But then scale back to, okay, but what's here? Get that first.
The local Puerto Vallarta newspaper, maybe?
Yeah.
Can I get on the cover of that? I can, but it wouldn't be. It would not be for my looks. It would be for something stupid I did, probably.
Start by, getting another pedicure,
Oh, pedicure. Yes, I do have a pedicure. My toes are actually painted green and red, my wife.
Are they still looking pretty good?
Oh, let's look. Hold on. I'm not going to put my feet up here. I cannot. I'm not that flexible.
Viewers are going down as we speak.
It's okay. I don't do this.
Actually, they're going up now.
I do this for my own mental health, man. You know what I mean? When you get to sit and talk and be authentic, that's one thing that I was actually talking to a friend of mine about a friend of mine who's struggling with some things just prior to the podcast, this show. And I wish more people would just find the strength to be authentic, to just be you. You know what I mean? Rather than being this fake shit. And so that's the whole point really of this podcast, is just to be authentic. You know, I mean, I'm not looking for friends. The fact of the matter is I don't like people. So why the hell would I want friends? It just means that they call and shit and text you and stuff. You know.
I know, so we can get to those. I know people here for the cybersecurity. I just want everyone to know that I'm well aware.
How would Mike Tyson say that, by the way? I believe it's a cybersecurity.
And his ability to go off track. So, and I don't mind messing with that a bit.
I'm always off track. So Mike Tyson would say, instead of cybersecurity, I believe it's cybersecurity. Should we talk Mike Tyson the whole rest of the time?
I think we could.
That'd be sweet.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be nice. So cybersecurity. We have cybersecurity risks that we deal with all the day, every day.
Yes.
All right, so you didn't get any tech gifts because you didn't. I also didn't. I can't remember the last time I got a tech gift. I don't think I've ever. No, I've never gotten a tech gift. My wife would be afraid to buy me a tech gift. But I did buy her so this year I bought her a MacBook. So she got a tech gift.
That's a tech gift.
I bought the tech gift. Yeah, I bought that. Yeah, my daughter, other kids, they got tickets to shit. But no tech gifts here. But let's say I did get tech gifts. So I looked up, before we started this show, I looked up what are the most popular tech gifts of the 2024 holiday season. Do you want to hear them?
Okay. Yes, I do.
All right. So audio devices, the Apple AirPods Pro 2 and the Sony WH-1000XM5 headphones are the two most popular audio devices this year. Do you have either of those?
I don't have either of those.
I have the AirPods Pro 2, but I did not get them as a gift. I bought them. I'm also an impulse buyer. Sometimes my wife will send me to Costco and I'll end up at the Apple Store or Radio Shack or I don't know.
And then you come home without the milk and whatever else she needed from Costco?
Maybe. But then I turn it around, man. I mean, I'm a social engineer by trade. I turn it around and say, I invited you to come. You were invited to come. So the fact that I didn't do what you wanted me to do, you can't fire me.
Yeah, it's her fault, really.
We're in love, you know? I mean, just because I suck in the job doesn't mean you're still not in love with me. So there you go.
I throw that in my wife's face all the time. Well, you married me. So, what does that say about you?
Right? Yeah. Your problem, not mine. All right. So smart home gadgets. Here are the top 2 smart home gadgets this year. And then we'll get around to these things. And then we'll talk about, maybe some of the risks, involved in. And maybe if you're watching or listening, you're like, I got AirPods Pro 2. Like, well, what's there to care about security? I don't know. Let's talk about it.
I'm here
for smart home gadgets, the Amazon Echo Show 10 3rd generation and the Google Nest Hub 2nd generation.
Mm-hmm.
First question is, what the fuck was wrong with the 1st generation? Why are we on 3rd and 2nd? Are these things giving birth to each other?
Probably. Plus, if no one's going to buy the 1st edition, they need a new edition so that you can buy a new one.
Of course they do. I mean, look, if I walked into your house and I saw that you had the Amazon Echo Show 10 1st or 2nd generation, the first thing I would do would be like, what the fuck is you problem? You problem is bad.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What do you live in Mexico?
World?
Yeah, like, is there a 4th world?
Where's your horse and carriage? And
is there a 4th world?
I mean, there's got to be. Right?
I don't know.
There's multiple worlds.
Okay, so they say 1st world and 3rd world. Where's the 2nd world? Is that Canada?
It's Canada.
Canada's the 2nd world nation. All right, good enough. All right, so Amazon Echo. So do you have either of these devices? And an Amazon Echo, any Amazon, just Amazon Echo anything, or Google Nest anything? Do you have those?
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to say I do not. We had a Google Home thing a while back. We got it for Christmas from someone, and We got rid of it at some point, but we don't have any of those.
Matt Hand says there's nothing smart at my home. Except for Matt. Matt is smart. I know Matt. All right. So, okay. I actually do have an Amazon Echo. I don't know what fucking version it is, though. Show 10. I don't know what it is. But I'll talk about what I did do to secure. So the thing is about tech, right? The thing is about all this stuff. It's not bad to have it, right? We don't want you to feel guilty for having new tech. There's nothing wrong with having new tech. It's how you use the new tech that matters, right? There's responsible use and irresponsible use. These are just tools, hopefully tools to make your life better. If they're not making your life better, then why the fuck do you have them? But yeah, I mean, make your life better. Having the tools, and then the next question then is, then how do I use it responsibly? So having an Amazon Echo Show 10 third generation, I'm not ripping on you for having one of those, but what are you doing to secure it, right? Be responsible.
And
even take security out of the equation too, because I think when you say secure and you say security, I think normal people are like,
right,
security people are talking security shit. No, let's talk about responsible.
Yeah, just understanding how to use it, because I mean, all this stuff is so. I highly doubt a lot of people took a whole lot of time to really understand, and read the manual.
Yeah, read the manual.
I don't know. That's the first thing I do when I open up those things. Is, manual in the trash.
When I open the box for the manual, it's like 12 languages on that thing. Usually takes me 10 minutes to find the English version. And then, the manuals typically are they're not very helpful either. No, they're very short-cutish.
There's no more words anymore.
Yeah, there's nothing in manuals that tells you how to secure things usually. Have you seen that in manuals that you've read?
Well, yeah, no, I throw away the manuals. So.
Manuals? You throw them away. Yeah. All right. Manuals.
But no, there's no how to secure this device section.
There should be, shouldn't there? See, that's what it comes down to. When you talk about responsibility, you've got my responsibility as the consumer, right? They have this thing that's been around forever. I guess it's Latin and shit. It says caveat emptor or whatever, buyer beware. Is that a thing? I think it's a thing.
I mean,
it's like et al. And et cetera. I mean, there's so many fucking Latin things. But anyway, buyer beware. You have that piece, but then you also have on the manufacturer side responsibilities. Do you not?
You do, yeah. I mean, I would think you ought to. That's like a moral word. Like, it is kind of your responsibility to have responsibility.
What? Is that AWT?
No, it's like augut. So there's a G, there's a silent G. Yeah, there's a silent G. And
no wonder people don't like speaking fucking English anymore.
I always read the manual in Dutch.
I don't get it. Can't do Dutch. I can't do English. I'm trying to learn Spanish. Whatever, man. I'm getting depressed. Forget it. Let's talk about wearables.
The wearables. What?
Yeah, wearables. So we talked about audio devices. We've got the Apple AirPods Pro 2, the Sony WH-1000XM5 headphones, smart home gadgets, the Amazon Echo Show 10 third generation. If you're running the second generation or the first generation, you're a loser.
Yeah, upgrade.
I mean, seriously, if you gave one of your kids or your spouse a second generation, what's wrong with you?
Hey, you picked it up at a garage sale?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. All right, the Google Nest Hub second generation. Wearables, we've got the Apple Watch Ultra 2. And I've never even heard of this thing. Withings ScanWatch Nova. Have you heard heard of this?
Withings?
Withings. WITHINGS. ScanWatch, one word, Nova.
It's like a smartwatch.
It's a wearable something. Yeah. I've never heard of it. So how about these things? Do you have either of these things? I'm guessing you don't have a Withings ScanWatch Nova. I have, you see, that's the Ultra 3, Ultra 2. The one thing I was really hoping Apple would do going from the Ultra version 1 to the Ultra 2 would be improved battery life. I would have paid twice the price for an improved battery.
No, that didn't come.
Instead, they gave you some kind of shit updates. But anyway, I fell for it. Thank you.
I still have a Fitbit.
I'm an American, though. You have a Fitbit?
Yeah. See, part of the reason.
How many steps did you do today?
I'll tell you. let me check. I don't like watch it all day. Like,
You should be. That's the whole point of the Fitbit. You're not doing the bit. You're just doing the fit. Or maybe you're not even doing the fit. Maybe you're just doing the bit. What are you doing with that Fitbit?
I'm almost to 5,000 steps today.
I got you
beat.
From home.
I worked from home.
I got
today.
you beat, and I'm fat and lazy. I have 5,865, 2.56 miles.
I'm not done yet.
Oh, yeah. No, as soon as the show's over, there's like, it gets over at 10 o'clock-ish. I got 2 more hours. I'm going for a fucking run.
I'm going to go for 2 runs.
I'm going to go for 8 runs. I'm never going to ever stop running. I'm going to do what's that dude? Forrest Gump. I'm going to Forrest Gump to your house. I'm going to Forrest Gump all the way up to your house.
Do it. And I'll give you a big old kiss on the cheek.
While playing ping pong. That'll show you.
Wow.
You and your Fitbit.
So give the people what they came for. Okay. You got more on that list before we get into the details?
Oh, there's more.
Bring it.
So you have a Fitbit. I have, the Apple. I'll tell you what I did to secure my Apple Watch Ultra 2 as well. I have no idea about the Withings ScanWatch Nova. I'd have to do some research on that. But that's the thing, right? If you were going to be responsible in your use of technology, you would do some research, wouldn't you? No?
It might be a little bit necessary. Just a little bit.
It's like any tool, man. I don't want my Apple Watch Ultra 2 to fuck up my life.
Well, right. And I think when we get into maybe
Ben has
some
56
ideas
devices connected to his network right now. Holy shit, Ben. Kidding me? 56? Well, I'll tell you how many I got connected right now. All right, go ahead. What were you saying before I interrupted you?
When we get into like what can possibly happen, not that there needs to be a whole lot of like fear mongering going on, but like there's real stakes.
Let's monger.
There's real stakes. And that's
after Christmas.
That ought to make you do a little bit of research. Yeah. But here's the thing: I'm just 36. As bad as other people. I'm not trying to claim that I've done it well. I've got later on or whenever we want to talk about my mistakes, I've got some big ones.
Come on, dude. You've made mistakes.
I mean, I say I'm sorry more than I say I love you.
So you're a narcissist mistaker. You're a narcissistic mistaker.
Why am I a narcissist mistaker?
I don't know. Why are you? That's what I'm wondering myself.
People throw around narcissist.
I know. I don't even like it. Let's just move on. Fuck this.
Yeah.
All right. Matt says, in many ways, I don't think they want you to secure them. Yes, there's some truth to that. I agree. All right. So gaming consoles. Who doesn't like to game, dude? It's like, oh my God, like a different reality.
Yeah, but you're all going to hate me. My kids only have a Wii U.
I can like shoot people, bam, 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 and it's legal? Are you shitting me? All day, thank you. All right, so Nintendo Switch OLED and the Valve Stream Deck. Are you a gamer?
I like to play. I'm not a gamer. I'm not like hardcore gamer. Like, I like gamers though. I love listening to them.
Are you a softcore gamer?
I dabble in a little softcore gaming.
Yeah,
I like to play Madden with my son,
We all do that. I mean, sometimes we find ourselves on websites we really mean to be at. Get it, dude. It's all good. All right, so Nintendo Switch OLED, Valve Steam Deck. So here's an important thing. Like on those, I think of like the Valve Steam Deck. It's a fairly closed system, right? There's not a lot I can do around a cybersecurity thing with that. But talk about responsible use. It's probably not responsible for me to play the fucking thing 24/7 or to have your kids play it 24/7. And the point here is we think that information security or cybersecurity is some kind of specialized skill. It's not. It's a life skill. It's something that everybody needs to learn. Responsible use. You're putting take a business, right? In a business, the person who's ultimately responsible for information security or cybersecurity in a business is the board of directors, if there is one. If there isn't, CEO, if there isn't one, owner, whoever's the top of the heap, right? Take that same kind of thing to your home. Who's the top of the heap? Who's ultimately responsible for everything that happens in your home? Well, it's either you, it's your wife, or it's maybe it's like a board, right? She gets like 60% of the votes, you get 40 or something. But anyway, somebody has to take responsibility. Somebody has to be accountable. And so even though when you're thinking, cybersecurity, information security, you're thinking like the Nintendo Switch and the Valve Stream Deck. What can I do to secure those? Well, you could it's not define secure, right? Secure is risk management, but beyond just hacking shit, you've got just responsible use of shit, right? And so if you approach information security as being responsible use of shit, it'll make a hell of a lot more sense to you when you buy the next Amazon, whatever the fuck I said it was, the Echo Show, right? What's responsible? I mean, ask yourself constantly, what's responsible? What rules should I put in place for these gaming consoles? Because you're not going to do a lot to secure. I mean, if you were talking like the Valve Stream Deck, things off the top of my head that you would do is, you'd want to segment that traffic off into its own subnet, if you know how to do that on your local network. You'd want to lock down, certainly take a look at the firewall, make sure you're locking down all ingress, any accounts that you're using on that device, change from defaults, shit like that. Strong passwords, MFA if you can do it, shit like that. But nobody's probably going to hack your Valve Stream Deck and steal money out of your bank account. Probably, maybe, I don't know. But responsible use, man. It all comes down to responsible.
I mean, for those that, when you think about all the Wi-Fi networks that you can see, just all your neighbors' Wi-Fi networks, and think about all the devices that are connected to those, and how easy it could be for someone just in the neighborhood or one of your neighbors, if you haven't put a little bit of thought into just wireless networking, just a little bit of assistance when you're setting up your Comcast router or Wi-Fi, to see if you can set up a couple networks and keep things separated. So at least when your kid downloads a virus on his little computer, it's not connected to everything in the house.
Kids are walking viruses.
They're
seriously
in multiple ways.
And I wish people, one, had the means to do it, two, had the knowledge to do it. But if you're using, a lot of us are working from home nowadays. Remote work is kind of a big thing. Well, a better thing would be to have two separate networks, I mean, if you can get your work to pay for it, if you know how to do it, whatever. I mean, you could always do Starlink on one network and do, your local telco on the other network. I mean, just keep them completely fucking separate. You'd have different IP spaces, so if there's something that got compromised, you've got some attack traffic, some whatever shit going on one network, it's not going to fuck up the other network. I mean, but you'd have to just do research, and we'll get to some of these steps, right? I mean, we're not going to, what I don't expect is, normal, call them normal people, the people that aren't security people. We're not normal. You knew that, right?
Yeah.
But,
I do.
What can normal people do to be responsible when they get these gifts, when they get these things? You already hit on a couple things. I mean, read the manual. I mean, we were joking that we don't read the manual, but if I don't read the manual, I'm definitely doing research, figuring out how this thing works, and not always just to secure it either. Like, I want to get the most out of this thing. I want to figure out how it actually works so I can do some cool shit with it. Along the way of figuring out the cool shit that you can do with it, you figure out how to be responsible too, right?
Yeah. Well,
do you have another thing in your bag?
What? Yeah, hold on a second.
Give me another thing in your bag, because I feel like Santa's gone.
Believe in your ability to overcome obstacles. Believe in your ability to overcome obstacles. A lot of people are insecure.
Oh, I get it. Dude, you're talking bail money.
Which we found out is tax deductible.
I did find that out about a month ago.
And
not because I used it.
When
because I asked.
Jail becomes an obstacle,
bail money.
Believe in your ability to conjure up some bail money and get yourself through that.
If they don't set bail?
I mean, yeah, you could probably fashion some sort of a shiv.
You could go straight up violent right out of the gate. You bet. You could be like, all right, fuck it. No bail. I'll stab my way out of here.
But the
social engineer yourself.
If there's anyone here tonight, if there's anyone here who thinks that an obstacle is the end of the road,
it's not.
It's not.
There's always bail money.
You were made to go through those obstacles, over, around, up and down, whatever it is.
Hallelujah. Preach it, brother.
Just like the Boys to Men said.
Boys to Men.
Although we've come
More singing.
to the
I love
end.
it.
Wait.
No,
I didn't know where I was going with that.
Do you don't have any more words, or did you forget the words?
The end of the road. The end of the road. Still, I can't let go. So yeah, so I can't let go. So you get to the end of the road, you keep going. That's what they were trying to tell us.
Nice, like Thelma and Louise.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Right off the cliff.
Just keep going right off the cliff. This
Just
is so
like
inspiring.
this podcast tonight.
No, this is awesome. So this is very inspiring. So if I run into tough times, get in my car, find a friend, and let's run off the cliff. If we don't have bail money, if we have bail money, let's try that first.
Okay. Let me ask you something. Get back on track. Your iPods, your
What?
AirPods. Sorry,
AirPods.
Tell me, what is something like? Okay, people hear. Okay, so yeah, I got AirPods for Christmas. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I got AirPods.
How could someone actually like hack those, and what would be the consequences? What are the possible consequences? What they listen to your music?
Conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's more of a privacy issue. I mean, there's not a lot of functionality in the AirPod to use it as a pivot point right into something else. I think your weakest point, and probably and I've never hacked one, but where I would start probing to attack would be in Bluetooth itself, inserting yourself maybe as a man in the middle. You're probably not going to do much.
How close would you have to be to actually do that? You'd have to be like within
100 feet-ish. Yeah, 100 feet-ish. Because you're not going to do anything on either endpoint. I mean, Apple's on the device side, they're pretty good at wrapping shit up pretty quick. I mean, there was some big things that came out in iOS 18.0. There were some big things, but Apple was on top of it pretty quick, and came out with 18.1, 18.2. Now I think we're on 18.2. There's not a lot of code that runs on the iPhone. What are these things called? Apple Pods, AirPods. So I think probably your biggest risk is, something.
Because those don't connect. You don't connect those to Wi-Fi, right? They don't have any AirPods that connect to Wi-Fi. It's just Bluetooth running.
Bluetooth, yeah. But there's also kind of some. I mean, when you think about how things function, it's like, and that's kind of the hacker mentality, right? If you just pay attention to how things are functioning, you've got, I mean, that's where I would start, right? Like I said, I've never hacked one, but if I were to start playing around, that's probably where I would go, would be in the communication, with Bluetooth. That's an open standard. It's notoriously kind of fucked up. What else would I think? Shit, I forgot where I was going with that. Another thing that's interesting about the AirPods is how they automatically detect and connect to whatever Apple device you're sort of using, right? I've got my iPad here. I'm on a MacBook, and I've got my iPhone here, and it automatically picks up on, and I don't know what that trigger is, but I would be interested to figure out what the trigger is to make it settle on home for one of the three. I don't have time to hack that shit, but that's where I would go. I'd go Bluetooth for sure, and then I'd figure out, like, what's that trigger? That trigger's interesting to me because, like, right now, I mean, it connected automatically to my MacBook, but if I were to, like, go over here, it would automatically, what makes it do that? I'm interested in that. And people that hack that shit probably know already, but I'd be interested in it.
And you got to think that, like, it remembers.
Yeah, it's part of Bluetooth, the pairing piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the Bluetooth implementation, which is all.
So you can probably
standard
spoof that then, right?
It's all IEEE standard shit. Yeah, I would think so. There's something you could definitely do with that. But you'd want to be able, I mean, to figure out what you want to do with it, I want to just knock it off. I mean, it'd be easy to knock it offline, but yeah, trying to get into the communication without detection would be interesting.
Yeah. But then you
Other
graduate,
things,
you move.
e-readers and tablets. Do you have any e-readers and tablets or tablets? Do you have an
Yes,
e-reader?
yes. Well,
Tell me about your
my wife
tell me
has a
about your
Kindle.
e-reader. Kindle?
I don't read.
I don't either, man. Audiobooks all day or wait for the movie. Why read? It's hard on the eyes. I fall asleep halfway through something.
Well, and I do have a tablet for the kids, and here, this would be one of my, I guess, shortcomings. One of my embarrassing stories would be like that. I still don't.
Careful. Let's not disclose too much. Let's
Not
be
necessarily
humble. Let's be humble, but not, not knock ourselves down.
Not necessarily on the security side, as like what you pointed out earlier, people might typically think of with security, but the responsibility part, because I still don't know the most effective way to kind of do parental controls. So while I might be good at keeping it patched and things like that, I still don't have the best way to make sure my kids aren't getting fed something I don't want them.
That's
fed.
a huge challenge. But it's been a challenge even before. That's been a challenge even before devices, though. Before we had all this stuff, right? Because you've got peer pressure. You've got who wants their kid to be the only kid in school that hasn't done the thing. There's a lot of shit that goes on with that, and I think a lot of it. And I'm not an expert either, but I can just tell you what I did. My kids, it was a lot of talking. It was a lot about, what are you doing? What's kind of the new thing? What's the exciting thing? Oh, TikTok or whatever the fuck it was at the time, and it's like, tell me more about that. And then I would install it myself just to like, oh, okay, I can see kind of how that's a thing. And then I think it's a good opportunity to just talk to them about responsible use, right? Talk to them about the risks of using it too much, right? I don't want to neglect you from you, not neglect you. I don't want to restrict you from using it because I don't want you to miss out. But while people, there's responsible use, which, some of your friends are doing. There's irresponsible use, which some of your friends are doing. Let's figure out that middle road. What's healthy for you, I guess, conversation.
Well, right.
Sometimes for me, I would force the conversation. I'd be like, you're fucking talking to me now. Put the fucking phone down. Let's talk. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't do that.
And I have younger kids too. So like
how old are your kids?
My oldest is 11. My son's 9. And then I got a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Oh, okay.
And so like, I had a kind of a scary moment not scary, but like opening where like our 3-year-old, we might be like, okay, here's the tablet, you can watch Bluey or something. And then the next thing you know, somehow she got over to YouTube and watching shorts, and it doesn't even it just happens. Like it does. Like, so parental controls are like necessary because they will. And then suddenly I hear her listening to something, and I'm just like, what the?
No, but to your credit, man, I think that's responsible. You were paying attention. The biggest thing you can do around cybersecurity or information security is situational awareness. It's knowing what's going on around you so that you can account for it from a risk management perspective. So the fact that your child went from this to that, that's irresponsible at all. That's exploration, adventure-based things. I think the parent that has no clue that stuff even happens, that's the irresponsible piece. So the fact that you notice that, it's a great opportunity to sit down and talk with them why this is good, this is not maybe so good. You know what I mean? I think that's very responsible. I think a lot of parents don't even pay attention.
When you say it that way too, I guess it also makes another like positive thing to think about is because my son actually said it. My son kind of said, "Hey, Dad, they just swore." Charlotte's listening to something, they just swore. I'm like, she's supposed to be watching Bluey.
But so take that. I've always kind of thought, from a security perspective, like home is like a microcosm of business because risk management's risk management, right? Whether you're at a business, home, it's just what makes it different is the complexity. But, there's so many similarities. Like somebody has to be responsible. Somebody has to be watching. We know that we can't prevent all bad things from happening. So where we can't prevent those bad things, what do I have in place to detect it? And then what would my response be? And it's all just responsible stuff. And so the fact that just this story is fascinating because you've got you taking accountability, taking responsibility overall for this. And you've set up an environment where it's okay for somebody to report something, right? As like an incident response, like, Dad, I saw something that I don't know, and I'm guessing you play the dynamics right. And it's not like tattling. It's more like, I care about you. I don't want.
I did beat him up for being a snitch, but
Of
he
course,
understood.
Snitches get stitches. Everybody knows that shit. Yeah. We weren't supposed to talk about that on the podcast, but yeah, I get it.
No, I didn't.
I got plenty of stitches. Actually, no, I don't have many stitches from that, but I've caused things maybe that other people got stitches from. Shut up. I don't want to talk about it. Let's move on.
Let's the ante. So we talked a little bit about the AirPods, but you don't like the words I choose to use, do you?
No, I don't like any. I don't like. I like it. I like all your words. No, it's just anti. It's just like these are. I actually really like them, but they're just words I don't use very often. Anti. Oh, okay. I know what that is. Okay, let's do that.
Ante up.
No, yeah, I play poker, but people won't play with me anymore
because you're good.
No, I think. Well, I don't know if it's
can't
good.
Lie.
I think
you said you can't lie. You don't lie, so you wouldn't be able to play poker very well.
No, I think some people just have an inherent poker face. Like this is me right now being really excited. I'm so fucking happy right now. I'm just elated. So this is also me panicking. I'm like, oh my God, the world's falling down. You know what I mean? So from that perspective, yeah, it's a good skill to have as a poker person because it's like you can't read the face because there ain't nothing to read.
So how are we supposed to know when you need help, Evan? What should we do? Your face looks the same. Should I ask
passed
you?
Out or something? If I'm like laying on the floor or can't talk, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't need your fucking help. Go ahead.
If you have a tough time forming words.
Forming words? Auntie? I have an auntie. I have an uncle-y too. Some cousinies. Yes.
But so we talked about the AirPods, that was a little bit like, okay, well, but we talked about those home assistants, those smart, home assistants. That's got to be a little bit.
You're talking about
more
the Amazon
risk,
thing,
right?
And that Google thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the question?
Well, I'm just guessing those are bigger risks than your AirPods.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's more you can do with it, right? Risk is likelihood and impact, right? The likelihood of something bad happening and the impact if it did. You hacking my AirPods, the likelihood, well, you'd probably have to be within 100 yards, right? So somebody with the skill to do such a thing would have to be, because that's probably the most likely method of attack. And then what would the impact be? Well, you might capture some of my conversations, but most of my conversations are bullshit anyway. So there's just not much of an impact. Whereas you talk about, like an Amazon Echo, there's a hell of a lot of shit I could do with that. You know what I mean? A lot of times people set up these devices to control other smart devices on their networks. You've got cameras potentially attached to these. You've got, lots of smart devices. You've got, what are the things? Lights, thermostats. Whatever you can think of as a smart device in your house, you can connect to, your Amazon Echo Show. So an attacker can do all kinds of really fucking cool shit with that. So the impact is significantly higher. The likelihood is also significantly higher because attackers know that I can do more shit with that, right? You haven't seen a lot of, if any, vulnerabilities or exploits for the Apple AirPods Pro 2 because it's just not that interesting for most of the people with skills. Whereas you look at the Echo Show 10, that's interesting. I could do a ton of cool shit. If I was an attacker, I could potentially do a lot of cool shit with that. So yeah, it's higher risk. And that's what people need to know, right? When you talk about responsible, it's like, this is higher risk than this, being able to do that sort of responsible calculation. If you can't, it's just a learning process. I think a lot of people think, oh, I'm not that technical. I could never figure that out. Seriously, anybody can. None of this stuff is rocket science. We're not asking you, as a security person trying to give advice to somebody at home, we're not asking you to code shit. We're not asking you to invent new technology. We're asking you to learn about the technology you have, which is all documented, which is all, it's not rocket science. So I think a lot of people get intimidated right out of the bat,
You're right. And a lot of it's going to be, basic stuff that you've probably heard a million times and we'll repeat it. And it's going to sound like, oh, geez, I've heard that a million times,
All those damn security people talking again. Oh my God, I can't listen.
Updates, updates. Secure your wireless.
Wireless? I'm already intimidated. Tell me more.
Use a strong password. These are things.
I'm still intimidated. Tell me more.
Use multiple factor authentication. MFA, man.
What the fuck is a factor? There's more.
You can do this. You can do this. We can do this.
Well, you totally can. I mean, and that's one of the things that's really from a security perspective, that's on us. I'm super fucking tired and very angry when we say stupid users. No, they're not stupid. A CEO isn't stupid. It's when you look at things, I mean, empathy, learn, like they've got so many things going on in their mind, in their minds and their thoughts, whatever the hell they're doing. Try to look at it from their perspective, right? From my perspective as a security person, a tech guy who plays with shit all the fucking time, if I just look from that perspective, yeah, it's like, that's stupid. But that's the thing, right? The world doesn't revolve around me. It's not my perspective that runs the world. I think security people could definitely learn to appreciate more perspectives. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Because people aren't stupid. And if rather than being frustrated by the fact that our message isn't resonating, that we've said this 1,000 times and they just still don't listen, it's on you, brother or sister, or them, they, he, whatever. I don't know what pronouns there are anymore, but you know what I mean? It's not on them. It's on us. We're not communicating right. We're not speaking the same language. I wrote a fucking book on this, for crying out loud.
And what's the name of that book?
I don't know. I didn't read it. I was hoping other people would read it and tell me what the hell it said.
Unsecurity, by Evan Francen. It's a good book.
Yeah, don't wait for the movie. It's not coming.
This is the movie right here.
This is the movie.
In a lot of ways it is, because you've been preaching this stuff for so long, it still comes out of you. Like, I mean, you're not going to hear you say much. A lot of the stuff you say, it's in the book.
Yeah, there's no sense in it. And that's the thing I was talking about, that taking the same thing I talked about 25 years ago and being able to talk about today. Like, why would I talk to you about more advanced shit when you still haven't gotten the basics down? The fundamentals, right? You're not ready for that. You're not ready for more advanced shit. Like I was talking to a friend of mine, actually Matt, for the podcast. I've been learning piano, and every day I play every day. And I've been doing that for 7 months. I was like, man, when am I ever going to be able to play play with a band? That's my dream. I want to play on stage with a band. Well, it's like 2-3 years. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, you got to keep going and keep learning and whatever. But the thing about us is, we want these instant results, and we're not willing to put in, I think, the effort to meet people where they're at and take them down this journey.
Right.
When you talk about multi-factor authentication, how many people, I mean, if you think like the US population, how many people actually know what the fuck multi-factor authentication is? It's got to be less than half, man.
Yeah. I mean, they know, they just don't know.
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this is worthy of a study. Maybe we should go out on the streets and maybe we'll do a podcast episode. We'll just go out on the streets and ask, like, hey, tell me about multi-factor authentication. And I wonder how many people will be like, what? The fuck? Well, I don't know what the fuck that is.
You're probably right, because I think sometimes when you're in the information security field, or even just, in the tech field at all, or whatever, you maybe get a false sense of, geez, this has been preached a million times. Everyone knows this. And then you start thinking, why would I say that? They know this is heard a million times. And maybe they haven't. or maybe it never clicked, like.
Yeah, I get tired of people
when
in
I
our
say
industry.
MFA, I just want to throw up. I'm just like, I've said it so many times, I don't even want to say it.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. I get tired. I really do get tired of hearing myself say the same damn thing over and over again. It's like, but if you were to play something from like years ago and play something from today, you'll notice slight differences because I'm still trying to find the right language, the right resonance that'll actually hit. You know what I mean? Because if you know security, the thing about information security that's fascinating is so much of it is logic and reason, right? And logic and reason are beautiful things because you can extrapolate logic and reason. A lot of it's cause and effect, right? Do this, right? It's pretty cool. Then you take the people part, which is the analog stuff, and you plug the analog stuff into the logic and reason stuff. The analog stuff is like, if you understand how analog works, it's a wavelength, right? And digital is always discrete, on or off. Computers only do what you tell them to do. You marry the two together. That's the magical part. Like, poor choices have consequences. So you think the logic and reason, but then you've got to take in the emotion piece, which is the fascinating part. Because when you talk about like the tech, all the tech from, Christmas or just tech in general, like, because the next thing I was going to talk about was smartphones, right? You've got the iPhone 16 Pro, the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6. When people go out and buy these things, how many of those people actually ask themselves, why? Why do I need this? Because I asked my daughter that. It was an interesting discussion. She's like, "Oh, the iPhone, the 16 Pro is out," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I need to get it." I'm like, "Why?" Well, because it's the 16 Pro. That's not a why. What about that 16 Pro adds something to your life that you're missing now that you really need right now? That'll offset the cost and the risk and everything else. I mean, just logic and reason, right? I mean, the emotion part is, I need that shit. The emotion part is FOMO. Oh my God, I can't fucking go without the 16 Pro. The logic and reason part is why. And she didn't have any reason. Well, it's got a better camera. I'm like, you're not a fucking photographer. No, I mean, when did you pick up photography? When you'd actually notice the difference between this amount of pixels and this amount of pixels and the other features,
I mean, but T-Mobile will pay for it for me. Like, it's on them.
Well, I mean, that's another thing about that logic and reason thing too, because that really does protect you a lot from the marketing. Yeah, okay, you're offering me this free thing. Okay, if I'm using logic and reason, I know that nothing is actually free. What's the catch? Why would you give me something for free? It's either not valuable or there's something in the back that's going to, that is valuable to you enough to offset the cost of $1,500 phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, so when we're talking about phones now we up the ante again.
Ante. I don't have any antes.
What are the risks with the phone?
Yeah, well, the phone, oh my God, the phone. The more functionality, the more complex something is, the more risks you're going to find, right? God. There's the lines of code, the number of lines of code in an iPhone 16 Pro, along with all the applications you stack on top of that. I mean, you can look at it from two ways, right? You look at it from, on average, we could probably agree that 5 to 7 errors per 1,000 lines of code. How many logic and reason? How many lines of code are running on that iPhone 16 Pro, plus all the applications you stack on top of that? If you've got that many errors per 1,000 lines of code, do the math. You figure out, like, there's a shitload of bugs. Why do you fucking think you need to update that damn phone all the time? And every time you go into, like, here, I'll do it right now. Like, I'll go into the App Store. Let's see how many. I just updated like 2 days ago. Look, I've got 13 more updates to apply to the applications I have on my phone. So all of those, most of the bugs are usually classified as just functional bugs, like something that was supposed to work doesn't work, and it could be both, and or a security vulnerability. So you're updating this fucking phone all the time.
And God knows what kind of permissions you gave that app when you installed it. You install these apps,
Right.
and it's like, so you give permission to your entire phone to this app.
Yeah. You
And it's like,
give your location, app tracking, right? So tracking the things you're doing so that it can feed it to the advertisers. You've got location tracking that. You've got, local device access, like all your photos, a select few of your photos or no photos. I mean, my God, there's so much shit. And if you were to actually, and I should do this actually as a research project, just how much data, because I am a responsible user of my iPhone. I know every app that's on here. I know why I'm using it. Yeah, I mean,
well,
I've
heard you
just to track
challenge
the
people in
data
the
that's
past
going
about.
out.
I've heard you challenge people in the past about like an inventory of your apps, like how many people actually know what's running on their phones. And I'm telling you, like I probably still have apps, even when you did that. I mean, it was probably a while ago that I heard you say that. I don't remember where, but I was like, oh yeah, man, I got these apps that I downloaded. I don't know, because I wanted to see the constellations at night and I wanted to see what it was. So I just downloaded some app.
Right.
And now it's still there. I don't even know anything about it,
Yeah. Yeah. It was one of the frustrations with anytime and I don't give talks anymore because like, fuck you. I don't want to do talks anymore. I was giving a talk to an FBI, a group of FBI agents. And I asked, and I was kind of frustrated this day because, we stress the importance of asset management, right? I can't protect the things I don't know I have, at least not well. Right. And so, when I give that talk, giving that talk hundreds of times, everybody's like, yeah, yep, you're right. You can't protect things you don't know you have. I'm like, all right, well, let's put this to the test. How many apps do you have on your phone right now? And what? Yeah, I mean, we preach that shit, we practice that shit. How many apps do you have on your phone right now? Right? We're telling everybody else, like, you can't protect things you don't know you have. That asset management is so damn important. What do you got? Because we also do a lot of that in our industry. We don't practice what we preach. And so I called out one of the FBI agents in like the front row. And he's like, I don't know how many apps I have on my phone right now. I'm like, well, look. And so he looks. No, actually, I asked him to guess first. Well, guess. How many do you think you have? He said, oh, maybe 50. I'm like, well, look, you had 246. So you have 196 apps on your phone that you, even in your guessing, right? So when I talk about information security and how important it is to have situational awareness, there's 196 apps that you were absolutely not aware of, right? And so when you put that into the risk, the risk equation, I mean, especially as a fucking FBI agent, it's like, I mean, you make it too easy to have, really. I mean, again, I don't have time to do that, and I'm not interested in doing that. But I think any attacker who does have time, who does find the self-interest in attacking those types of things, we make it almost trivial. So if we go back to, all right, Christmas, I got gifts. What should I do? Let's say I've got a new drone. If you got a drone, don't fly that shit in New Jersey at night, because they're going to uppity about that shit now. But, I got a new iPhone. I got a new
doorbell,
smart device. Yeah. iPhone, or not. Yeah. Doorbell. What are those called?
Ring doorbell.
Ring, ring, ring. What should I do? I mean, if I want to be responsible, right? Who doesn't want to be responsible? You should be excited about it, because if you use it correctly, if it's a tool that you use responsibly, it will provide value to your life. If you don't use it responsibly, well, that's a poor choice. Poor choices come with consequences. Eventually, you're going to pay the price for it. See how I did logic and reason again?
Yeah, I mean, it just makes sense.
I don't know.
You connect the dots.
I have no emotions. Like, I don't give two fucks about anybody, really. No, I'm just kidding. I do.
But you do love everyone.
I do love there you go. See,
over
logic and reason.
everything.
Love versus like. Love is a choice. Like is a feeling. I have no feelings, but I have choices. I love you. Don't like you.
But you're right. You're right.
And that's the thing about being authentic too, that I encourage all security people to do, is be authentic, be real. Because even if you're not right, open yourself up to challenge. Maybe I'm not right. The worst thing for me would be to think that I'm right and continue to do this shit, not being right. And not having people say anything about it, right? So if I'm not right, well, then let's discuss it. Let's discuss it in this like place of mutual respect.
That's hard to find these days.
Especially in America, you damn Americans up there.
But so go back. What can you do? Okay, so we've already touched on a lot of these things, right? So there's a lot of your devices come with default passwords.
Yes.
And perhaps people don't always know that, but like you can change the password, and you should change the password, and you should make it a strong password. So that's one thing. You got your new little assistant, and change that password, man.
Change that damn password. You said, because from an attacker's perspective, if you haven't heard from an attacker's perspective, people give us, and I'm an ethical attacker, and I don't have as much time to attack as I used to, but people give us so much damn credit. Like, oh my God, you're so smart. No, we're not. We look at things from a different perspective. So if I were going to attack any one of your devices as an attacker, why wouldn't I try default passwords first? It's the easiest way into things. As opposed to, cracking passwords. Yes, we would eventually get to that, but it's, step by step, right? It's this methodical approach. And from an attacker's perspective, there's always got to be a return on the investment. If I'm a malicious attacker, so what would be the return? It depends on the motivation of the attacker. Most attackers today kind of fall in one of two camps. It's either money motivated or nation state. The money motivated ones are looking for money, right? So what would I be able to do? If you think this way, like why would I target, your network? Why would I target your devices? From a money motivated perspective, planting backdoors is nice because I could use your systems to do crypto mining. Crypto mining is, calculating blocks on the blockchain, right? And I get paid for that. Sending spam, right? Using your devices. So instead of spam coming from my systems, it's coming from your systems, which is much harder for security people to block. And there's just lots of different ways to make money with your systems that normal people, which I don't blame them either. Normal people don't think of, criminals think. We don't go through our lives like, what would a criminal think about this? Which brings us to this, the difference, I think, between awareness and paranoia. We don't want to be paranoid. I mean, I guess if you were going to err on the side of one or the other, err on the side of paranoia, because the world is pretty dangerous, but it's this situational awareness. It's like understanding the world around me, understanding when I go online, what is online, the websites I visit, who else visits these websites, where might I encounter attackers? Just, because if I were to go to, like, what's one of the porn sites about,
boobs.com?
Oh shit, boobs, okay, yeah, just say boobs.com. So if I go to boobs.com versus going to google.com, think of situational awareness. Where might I find more threats? I might find more threats at boobs.com than I would find at google.com. So maybe, I want to take some extra precaution. I'm not saying don't go to boobs.com. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. I'm not going to tell you what you do with your computer. But understanding that, like, this place is more dangerous than that place. So if you take that to like a physical realm, like if I go to South Minneapolis or East St. Louis, a little more dangerous than if I go to Waconia,
West Philadelphia,
Minnesota, right? So that's what I'm talking about, situational awareness. Now, and it's a learned skill. It's not a magical skill. There's nothing special about me or anybody else who does information security that you can't learn. You can learn situational awareness. And that's so huge, man. It's so huge in all of this stuff. Like, if I put this new device on the system, what's the situation? Meaning, what things can communicate it with it? What things can it communicate with? What's the situation I'm creating? That's the difference between awareness and a paranoia. A paranoia, it comes from fear. Fear comes from ignorance. So I would be paranoid if I was afraid. I'd be afraid if I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. That's a big difference between awareness and paranoia. We want you to be aware, not afraid.
Well, and I think a healthy sense of paranoia is, especially when it comes to the holiday gifts that we're talking about, is really this understanding, like we mentioned earlier, that like this corporate responsibility that just isn't necessarily there. You buy these gifts thinking, oh yeah, they've thought this through. They want me to be secure. And no, they want you to open it up, be able to plug and play it. Some of it, it's like their heart's in a place that maybe isn't malicious on the surface. It's just, what do we want? We want them to, we don't want them to be frustrated when they open this gift. We want them to be able to plug it into the internet and it just works. And they don't have to do anything. So the paranoia is, no, that was too easy. Like I have to know something. I have to, okay, it's great that it works, but don't forget, it works because everything was pre-configured, preset, and there's something you can do to make it your own, own it.
Amen.
It's still theirs. It's still set the way it came.
Totally, man. I mean, if you understand the situation, why do they want to sell you? I mean, their motivation is to sell you more shit, is to sell more shit. It's a for-profit business. Who could fault them for doing that? That's what they're doing. Their motivation is not to make it more difficult for you to use. Their motivation is not for you to learn more, right? Because learning takes time, and who the fuck wants to learn anything? I just want to plug shit in and get, right? Instant gratification. That's the thing. So, yeah, man, I totally get that. But it goes back. So you don't even have to be paranoid in that, in my opinion. It's like, okay, I'm going to buy this thing. Why am I going to buy this thing? Well, because I want these benefits in my life. That's why I'm going to buy these things. I'm not going to buy these things because, oh my God, everybody else has it and I don't got it. Fuck that shit. Is it going to provide more value to your life? Is it going to make your life better or not? And if so, how? That's what's going to focus. That's what should provide focus on your situational awareness. There's nothing wrong with any of this technology, right? But every single fucking thing I have, and I'm ADHD for crying out loud. I am weird. Every single piece of tech I have in my house, I know exactly why I have it. I know exactly what benefits I get from it, and I use it responsibly. That's the difference. It's not paranoia. I'm not afraid of shit. I mean, if you hacked any of my shit, big deal. I expect it. I mean, it's connected to shit. Why wouldn't it be attacked at some point? Plus, the nature of my business, the nature of what I do for a living. But it's awareness. It's not ignorance. It's not like, and the thing that people miss out on is this awareness. It actually improves your life and your experience with the tech. If you're ignorant, you miss out on all the benefits. There's so many benefits and features and cool shit that your tech does that you have no idea that it does. If you took the time to learn and be aware, my God, you'd be like, oh, I had no idea. I fucked around. This is me, right? So I fucked around with my wife, and I actually told a tech friend, pen tester, actually, really good pen tester. So I'd set up on my wife's phone. I don't know if you ever heard of shortcuts on your iPhone, but there's a thing called shortcuts. I'd set up a shortcut on my wife's phone that every time she plugged her phone into power, which is usually at night, which I thought was funny, it would say, oh, baby, put it in me, fill me with your juice, right? And so
you have to teach that to us.
Yeah, so we're laying, we're going to bed. She plugs her phone in and says, baby, plug me in, fill me with your juice. My wife was like, what the fuck was that? I'm like, I don't know. What was what? She's like, my phone just said something. What did it say? I don't know. I'm like, what did you do? She's like, all I did was plug it in. I'm like, well, plug it in again. So she plugged it in again. It's like, and then that time she actually heard what it said. She's like, did you do something to my phone? I'm like, yeah. I mean, it's me. Of course I did.
Yeah, you
But I
married
told
me.
my, but that's a thing, right? If I didn't understand how this worked, I wouldn't know that shortcuts exist. I wouldn't know that all the fucking cool things you can do with shortcuts, like fuck with your wife. It's like an automation, like jam session, dude. I mean, I can do so much cool shit with shortcuts. But so the point there in that is you don't have to be a shortcuts expert to be responsible with your iPhone. But the more you understand how your technology works, the more you can get out of your technology to make it work for you, right? So if you just start with like an iPhone or, an Apple Watch Ultra 2 or a drone or whatever, it's like you should approach it like, what are the cool fucking things I can do with this thing? I want to learn. I want to be the master of the technology as opposed to the technology being the master of me. Because you can fuck with your wife. I mean, it's the best damn thing ever. So if you don't know how to do that, just download. It's an Apple app, right? Shortcuts. There you go. See shortcuts. I also got lazy keto on there. Ideogram. But see shortcuts. So go get shortcuts and have fun.
If you got one thing out of this whole podcast, it was that golden nugget right there. Please share your stories.
I highly recommend it because in that alone, there's some good opportunity to teach. Laugh, have fun. One of the, I created when I started FR Security, I had 10 commandments. One of those commandments was information security is fun. And like people are like, no, it ain't. I'm like, the fuck it ain't, man. I just showed you, I gave you a perfect example right there. It's fun as hell, right? When you can show people the cool things that technology can do and at the same time teach people responsible use. Because now my wife wants to do the same thing to my daughter, and I'm totally encouraging him. Like, yeah, let's fuck with her. That'd be awesome. You know what I mean? Because, if I can do it, an attacker can do it, a bad person can do it. It's the same technology.
It sticks with you. Yeah, when you realize someone messed with your stuff, whether it's you left your screen unlocked and they came and, messed everything up. I mean, it sticks with you, and you start to think twice.
Absolutely, man. So if you got new technology for this Christmas, or you gave new technology, so let's say you received new technology, congratulations. Enjoy it. Master the technology. Make it your bitch. Make the technology do exactly what you want it to do, how it's going to provide the most value to your life. In doing that, you will learn responsible use. It's guaranteed. If you gave technology to somebody else, encourage the same thing. I mean, it is that simple, right? We overcomplicate everything. Like, well, multi-factor authentication, change default passwords, blah, 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 blah. If you learned how to use the technology the way it was meant to be used, you would discover change default passwords. You would discover network segmentation. You would discover multi-factor authentication. If I just point you on all those symptomatic things and not embrace tech, I think that's what we miss on. I think we just keep beating people over that multi-factor authentication. Like, I don't even know what the fuck that is. Fuck you. Not paying attention. Like, instead, it's like, think of all the cool things you can do with your technology. You can pay bills like online banking. I can pay bills online. I don't ever have to write a check again. I can do this. I can do that. Discover all the fucking cool things you can do with Wells Fargo Online. And in doing that, you'll eventually stumble over multi-factor authentication. You'll stumble over this shit. But then it'll be in a place where it's like not overwhelming, and I'm not hitting you with something that's out of context. That's my advice anyway. And I might be batshit crazy, but I think that's one of the things we're missing. We just keep beating them over the head with symptomatic bullshit as opposed to like, I think you should buy more technology, but only buy the technology that's actually going to improve your life, not overcomplicate it, right? Like you have your Fitbit. Do you not get benefit out of the Fitbit?
I do.
Yeah. And so when you learned that you could get benefit out of the Fitbit, did you not like, what else can I do with this damn Fitbit?
Absolutely. I mean, and that, that resonates with folks. And, in the show notes, you referred to me as like a tech enthusiast, which I guess I am, but I don't always think of myself like that because
Is that what I said? I meant to say fucking geek.
Well, it's because I'm friends with so many people that are much more that than me, you know? So like, as soon as I hear that, I go, okay, I guess I am, but I'm nowhere near this guy. My buddy over here, he's like, just, you know, he knows everything. But what about those folks? Because like I hear the message you're throwing down, and for some of us that will be exciting. Like, yeah, I'm gonna make this tech my bitch. But for some people that might sound like a mountain to climb. Like, man, I'm not tech savvy. Like I don't want to make it my bitch. I just want it to work. Like, and so there is that crowd where I think it's like they're not. Yes, they want the benefit, but they're not excited or enthused about the tech. And I don't know. I mean, I'm wondering how to talk to those folks. Like they don't want to read because they don't want to learn it to secure. They want it secured, but they don't want to learn it because, man, it just sounds like the worst thing in the world to have to read any kind of a tech jargon thing to figure it out.
Yeah, I think if you were gonna feed into any righteous fear and capitalize on it, capitalize on the AI one, right? Because there's some fear that AI will make us its bitch, right? So, at what point do you want to step up? At what point do you? And I think it differs for different audiences. You know, like for people that are really like motivated by like, I love new features, I select new shit. I mean, it gets me excited when I can do this thing that I couldn't do before. It's usually those people are more tech anyway. But it's like, what other things might it do? I mean, like I just gave you an example. You know, I'm a tech guy. You know, I'm not. The only thing that makes me different is I'm curious. I like fucking with shit. You know what I mean? The cool thing about most of the tech that I mess with is it doesn't come with the consequences that I used to have. Meaning, in like life stuff, if I were to do some of the things I do in like real life-ish things, like physical life that I do with tech, I would definitely be arrested. I would be in jail, right? But it's not illegal on the tech stuff. So it's that same kind of curiosity. I'm not a malicious person. It's the curiosity thing that drives it all. But like my mother just bought her first iPad. I convinced her she had, I don't know how many flipping, what are those things? Those Amazon things? Kindle. She had like 3 Kindles or something. And she had, a Microsoft laptop or whatever. And so I just, you know, like, what do you use this stuff for? I mean, what's like super important to you? It's like, well, I just, my iPad or my laptop, I use for like email and writing stuff, paying bills, shit like that. I use the Kindles for games. That's it. Games. And so I was like, bitch, you don't use a Kindle for games. I didn't say that way. Maybe I did. I'm an only son, so I get away with a lot of shit. I told her, and so I just explained to her, like, so, and she had an iPhone too. So like, you have, you know, listen to this, you know. So I said to her, like, you have 3 Kindles. It's one set of operating system. I mean, Kindle is its own operating system that you have to keep up to date, do all that shit. You have your iPhone. You got to keep that all up to date. You've got your laptop. Keep it all up to date, right? And you've got all these devices you have to keep track of, physically kind of understand where they're at and all this stuff. And so would it make more sense to just consolidate all of this? She's like, how? I'm like, I don't know. Let's think through some things, like just to make it less complicated. Because again, complexity is the worst enemy of security. Like if I had one operating system to maintain, and for these specific purposes, man, that's a hell of a lot easier for me to secure than like this clusterfuck we got. And so we talked it all through. And we're like, an iPad. You can play your games, all your games, right? I mean, and they're better. And you can get rid of your because what you're using your app for, you know, you can do the same thing on an iPad. Then I've only got one iPad. And the cool thing is you got your iPhone too, same ecosystem. It's Apple. That's easier, right? Than Microsoft, Amazon, Apple. So, after this discussion with her, it was like, this is how you can leverage the technology more for your benefit and make it easier, which everybody wants easier, and make it more secure. And my mom is like the most set in her ways. I don't know how old she is now. It's like 190 or something. Oh my God, getting her to change anything is like, but she did it. And so now she's on an iPad and an iPhone, 2 devices, all your games, all your whatever things, so sometimes it's not leveraging the security shit. My job as a security person, even in my family, even in my mother, is to consult her to make good risk decisions and help her implement those things, right? So when I look at my mother, she's like 78. Let's say that. When I look at her and she's using all these devices and all these systems, it's like, we can use it better. We can do better. And so I think it's the same kind of mentality. When I look at all my devices that I've got, because I do have a lot of devices. I don't want any more devices right now, because right now I don't think I could take on anymore and be responsible with them. But every single device that I have has a purpose. Every single one of them. My drone even has a purpose. Now it's offline right now, which is great, right? But when I put it online and use it for something, there's a purpose. The purpose is entertainment. The purpose is capturing some cool videos and pictures and things like that. That's its only purpose, right? So I love new tech. I mean, I think if you've got new smart home devices, smartwatches, fitness trackers, drones like me, smart toys, video games, I mean, these technologies supposed to bring benefit to your life. If it doesn't bring benefit to your life, why the fuck do you have it? It's that simple. Whether you got it as a Christmas gift or not. Why? Why would you make your life more difficult than it already is? I don't understand why you do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Matt says drone footage. Okay. So here's the deal. Matt, next week, I will fly my drone live on this show over there.
Sweet.
Yeah, we'll do it live. If you want to talk tech, there's some cool tech, man. You can fly the drone with this. I can share the video and we can fly it live on the show. Why would I know how to do that? Well, because I'm fucking responsible. No, I'm not. I mean, I am. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. But I got bail money. That's responsible. I don't know. But I mean, isn't that what it's all about, man? Why would you want more tech just for the sake of fucking having tech?
Well, you're right.
It's illogical.
And you, and I think you brought it to a good place there, where the advice that you gave your mom, like you said, it wasn't an overwhelming tech thing that she had to learn. You taught her how to simplify, which added security to her life and simplicity that she probably loves. Like, oh, I'd love to just have one thing. I just learned this and that's it.
Yeah. And at no point as a security person did I say no. At no point did I say, no, you shouldn't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. It was all like, why are you using these things? Okay, you value these things. So let's figure out the best way for you to get these things and keep these things, right? I mean, you're not going to keep these things if your shit gets hacked. So you value these things. Let's figure out the best way to get these things and keep these things. That's the value of tech to your life. And I didn't even get to like VR headsets. I have a VR headset. I fucking love my VR headset. What do I do with it? Can't tell you.
And I think maybe there's a nugget there of the responsibility.
See, I always pick on your words, nugget. Now you said nugget.
There's some cojones there.
Cojones.
Like the responsibility that I think maybe the next generation, I mean, our generation too, folks so for the people that maybe learning the tech isn't their jam, and maybe they could do it, but man, that just sounds like the biggest mountain to climb and they don't want to do it. Maybe there's a responsibility that we have, and certainly the next generation who is growing up with all this stuff that just kind of naturally understands it, to help those consolidate and to say, hey, grandma, let me show you how to change a default. Yeah, you don't have to learn everything. I'll show you how. If ever you need me to do it for you, I'll come do it for you. Don't worry.
Dude, I'm super big on that because not only does it help them, but it also improves your relationship with the people that actually matter, right? If you take a look around and hear the things that people say, it's like, relationships are, so much more transactional than they used to be. Everybody's so, busy and all this shit. Man, there's so many benefits just taking a step back, slowing down a minute, and being responsible, right? You'll find so many, being as an old timer security person, being that we've made so many shitty choices and gone so damn fast over the last 30 years, this is an amazing opportunity for us to take inventory real quick, figure out how to leverage the technology you already have to more benefit and cut the waste, man. I mean, you'll find that you'll save a shitload of money and improve your life, which is what it's all about. The technology, life isn't about technology. Life is about life. And if you fucking chase that technology piece, the FOMO, tech, it's going to catch up and it's going to fucking hurt. I guarantee you. I've seen it happen so many damn times to people that I really care about.
Yep. And call back to...
By the way, you need a new 3D printer. Sorry.
And call back to when you talked about being, the responsible for your own home. Now you're teaching the next generation in your home to be responsible, and now they can help, grandma with her new smart sleigh so she doesn't get run over by a reindeer.
Isn't that the point? I mean, as a parent, isn't that my job?
Yes.
To be responsible with my children, with the people that are dependent upon me, with my spouse. If I run a business, same thing. With the people that depend on my decisions in this business, isn't it my job to be responsible? Isn't it my job to learn what the fuck responsible means and then practice it, right? So there's back to your logic and reason. It's not that I don't I don't want to discount feelings, but fuck your feelings, honestly. Think it through. When you think about technology, because the thing about technology and our industry, the reason why big tech is so fucking rich and they make so much damn money is they capitalize on your emotions. It's the fear of missing out. Oh my God, new features. I need this new fucking thing. Do you know what that new thing is? Well, no, but I heard that it's a new thing. Okay, go for it. I mean, that's the difference between logic and emotion, right? The people that I think will be, because logic and reason, again, will tell you that poor choices have consequences. That's just how it is. Now, if you haven't paid the consequences for your poor choices yet, assuming that you continue to use technology irresponsibly, they accumulate, right? They're commensurate, right? Depending on how bad your poor choice was, that's how bad your consequence will be. So if you haven't paid the consequences yet for your poor technology choices, don't think that you're off the hook. It's coming. I'm not a fear monger. It's just fucking logic again, right? I'm not going to sell you shit with fear. And that's the thing with every Christmas, the people who buy new tech, I don't ever want to be taken as somebody who tells you not to buy new tech. New tech is awesome. There's so many fucking cool things you can do with technology. What's not awesome is using it irresponsibly. How do you use it? How do you use it responsibly? Learn it. Understand what benefits you get from it, right? Like anything, you've got strengths and weaknesses, right? There's a whole bunch of benefits I get from these things. Well, what are the vulnerabilities? What are the weaknesses? Let's minimize those and use it responsibly. It's like so fucking easy. I don't know why we don't all do it.
Amen, brother. Amen, brother.
I feel like I gotta cry because I'm so emotional.
Go ahead and cry.
I'm going to.
I'll leave you with the doozy. All right.
Leave me with a doozy. I have not had a doozy in quite some time.
I'm about to drop a doozy on you. Here we go.
Wait, doozy or doozy?
This is a good show closer for those
Is
that
this
are
going to
still
make me
here.
smell really bad?
It might. But I just want you to know, you, Evan, and all of you listening or watching, you are worthy of love, respect, and success. Don't you forget it.
Peace. I agree with that. And I'll leave you,
Learn
with
your tech.
this episode. Now, one of the things I love about you, Jordon, is number one, you're in the game for the right reasons. You're a beautiful soul. And I love doing this work with you. You know what I mean? And so, ending out the last episode of this first kind of half season of this podcast, it's an honor to do that with you.
Well, I feel the same about you.
Thanks, brother. And for the people out there, man, the reason why we do this, I don't give two shits if you think I'm cool or not. It's not the reason why I'm here. It's not the reason why Jordon's here. We don't care. I'm not here to be cool. The only person I really care to be cool with is with my wife, because there's benefits with that. I'm not going to get those benefits with you, so I don't give a shit. That's just the truth, right? The reason why we're here is because we care. And the reason why we say these things and do these things and work as hard as we do in this industry and work as many hours as we do is because we hate seeing people get taken advantage of. We want to help people. This is a service industry. This is not a product industry. So if you take one thing away from this, it's like, what can I do to be more responsible with the technology I'm using today? Point is not perfection. The point is not risk elimination. The point is just being better with the technology that I'm using today than I was yesterday, right? So, because it can be overwhelming, especially when you've been this adopter of technology over and over and over again. Buy the new shit. I buy the coolest shit. I buy the newest shit. That's what I do. It can be overwhelming because when you look across all your technology, you're like, well, where the fuck do I start? Right? That's cool. I get it. It starts with pick one. Pick one piece of technology. Pick your new Alexa thing. Pick whatever you got for Christmas this year. If that's not going to help you, then how about take an inventory? Just take an inventory of the technology you do have, right? And start to learn it. That way, technology becomes your bitch versus you becoming technology's bitch. ChatGPT or what's to come eventually with AI, if you want to combat that, don't let AI be your bitch. You make AI your bitch. So it's that simple. And I'm super glad that anybody who listened to this long, Jordon, I love you. Thank you, brother.
Love you.
I just ended the stream.